All right. Hi. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nessemon Kpazahi, and my current major is in global affairs and human security. And I am currently finishing my master at University of Baltimore. So I am here today to talk about my capstone project. And I hope you all stay tuned. If you have any questions, please leave comments so I can come back and answer all the questions you guys have. So my capstone project is mostly fiercely based on police disparities. So, racial disparities in policy in the United States are not isolated incidents. They are consistent, measurable patterns across traffic stops, searches, and use of force encounters that we have seen on many occasions. So, despite years of reform efforts, these disparities continue to persist, especially for Black Americans and any other community that's not white. This raises a critical questions: why are current policies failing to produce meaningful changes? So this issue is not just individual bias, it is also structural. So current reform focus on awareness, but they do not address the systems in incentive that drive unequal outcomes. So I have to. All right, so we're going to talk now about the solutions. If we could get to the solution part. So to address this issue, this study analyzed existing research and policy data rather than collecting new field data. So it focused on three key areas. So the first one is routine police encounters. Second is use of force disparities. And the third one will be the effectiveness of current reform. So the goal is not only to identify disparity, but to understand why there persists and what structural changes are needed to fix them. So I'm now going to talk about the evidence. So the first major finding is that racial disparity are very systemic. Sorry, I am a French speaker, so sometimes I have to translate in my head before I start speaking. But here we are. So studies shows that Black individuals are more likely to be stopped and searched, even though they are less likely to be found with any contraband, like with any sort of, I don't know, drug and arms and stuff like that. So the second key finding is that current reforms are not really much effective. Policies like bias training and data transparencies increase awareness, but did not change behaviors in meaningful ways. So we have all those police, all those officers going to through those humongous training, but those training are not being respected or even put in place. I feel like more it is more based on how do I feel on the field. So the third one will be officer discretion plays a major role. 100%. Many decisions like traffic stop or searches are based on subjective judgment, and most reforms do not place limits on that discretion. So when we come to the end of evidence, research shows that Black men face a significantly higher lifetime rates of being killed by police compared to a white man. So this evidence really do show is really do highlight the seriousness of disparities that's currently going on within the police department. um Coming down to my roadmap to address these issues, my paper proposed a three-stage roadmap. So the short term that I had was between 0 to 6 months. We were supposed to go ahead and implement procedural justice training and standardize data reporting to improve fairness and accountability immediately. And The medium term will be between 6 to 12 months, establish independent oversight bodies to reduce bias and strengthen accountability in decision making, not only from the police, but also from the chief and ahead, on top of the chief. So the long term goal will be invest in substantive community engagement effort to rebuild trust and improve relationship between law enforcement and the community. So this recommendation focus on structural changes rather than surface level reform. And I also feel like it shouldn't only come from from the officers from law enforcement. It should also come from the communities of being affected. I feel like they both should be having understanding when it comes to trust, so it could make those long term, short term, medium term flow very much easily and have an impact. So when it comes to the call of action, also implication, the key takeaway is that current reform are not failing because the problem is unclear. They are failing because they do not address the root cause of the problem. So without structural accountability and clearer decision making, standards disparities will continue to persist, and it's going to continue to be a border for all of us. So addressing this issue is not only a matter of fairness, it is essential for restoring public trust, improving public safety, and strengthening institutional legitimacy. The cost of inaction is high, so both socially and institutionally, and meaningful reform requires a shift from awareness to accountability, because accountability is the best and the bigger issue here. If more officer, or even the whole law enforcement department, you know, become more accountable of what they're currently doing, that's very much biased, I believe that a lot of changes will happen. So yes, thank guys again. It was me, Nessemon Kpazahi from University of Baltimore, and I am currently studying global affairs and human security. Thank you.